Hey folks, thanks for checking in. Um, if you're wondering, don't ask. But I did go and promise a YouTube video making sure that I explained what was on this worksheet. For some of you, this may be a review, and I do apologize. I promise next week we'll have a lot more new material. But this is referred to as Bikini Bottom Genetics, which is obviously a reference to SpongeBob SquarePants and the world to which he lived. I've been using these for a bunch of years, and they're great. They're nice. They're good stories. They're good problems to figure out, and it's relatively straightforward and easy review. So, want to make sure everyone understands what it is you're being asked to do. In the very beginning, you're just being asked to identify whether or not the genotypes are either heterozygous or homozygous. Please use the HE and the HO to go and identify. Just go and put that indicator right there on the line, and then it's always helpful if you do highlight things. That way I can see it easier. But you want to take care of that, and then do your best to answer the questions regarding purebreds versus hybrids based upon, again, HE or HO. And let's see, question number 2. Phenotypes. So a lot of what you're reviewing is the difference between a genotype and a phenotype. Please remember genotypes just focus on the alleles, which would be the genetic combinations, as well as how we present those genetic combinations. So this would be the capital letters versus the lowercase letters. Phenotype, the physical, the trait that you see, the image, not the image, sorry, but the trait that you see. So the first one here, we got yellow body color is dominant to blue. So all you're writing on these lines is color. So either you're writing yellow or blue in each one of these situations here. I do hope that you notice for yellow body color being dominant to blue, that's clearly going to mean that yellow is associated with a capital Y, and anything with a capital Y will get you yellow. Otherwise, the only way you get blue is if you got two lowercase ones. So what would refer to be as a homozygous recessive. All right, number 3, for each phenotype, give the genotypes that are possible for Petrick. A tall head is dominant to a short, so in this case here, you're trying to write down all the possible genotypes. So there's a total of 3 possible genotype arrangements: homozygous dominant, heterozygous, and homozygous recessive. You need to go and fit those 3 on those lines there. So one of these is going to have 2, and the other is going to have 1, so figure that out. Number 4, you've got an example here. So we've got some questions talking about SpongeBob SquarePants meeting Sponge Susie Roundpants at a dance. Make sure that you understand SpongeBob being heterozygous. So clearly SpongeBob is over here on the left-hand side, while Sponge Susie is round. She's over here on this side, the top, because that is homozygous recessive. And square is, in this case, not only heterozygous, but also SpongeBob is square. So you run through the Punnett square, at which point it asks, give me the possible genotypes and phenotypes for their children, and then what are the chances or percentages for the children to either be square or round. And again, this is all going to be based upon out of 4. So hopefully you guys are familiar with the Punnett squares. That's 25%, 50, 75, and 100%. Hope you guys can do the math on that. Number 5, continuation of the SpongeBob story. So you definitely need to refer back to an earlier question and to read question number 3 to kind of give you the genotypes that you want to be using for this Punnett square. You should, it doesn't look like you can edit, unfortunately. That's irritating. So if you need to do the Punnett square out somewhere on a piece of paper, that's fine. But if you can't write on the paper, don't worry about it. I do apologize. I thought you would be able to go and put that bit of information in. If you can come up with a way to insert a text box, I say go for it. Otherwise, you can do it on paper and then just answer these questions down below. You got number 6 talking about Squidward. Please notice that they're talking about being purebred. And let's see here, number 7 talking about Squidward's sons. Create a Punnett square on that. And number 8 is having to do with Mr. Krabs and his wife coming home with a baby. And then Mrs. Krabs not thinking things are good because of an eyeball issue, so you better have that looked at. So anyways, again, just asking questions, can you use a Punnett square to determine whether or not a mistake was made. So that's pretty much it. When you're all done with it and you've answered all 8 questions, make sure you submit it in Google Classroom, because I'm not seeing a lot of people's work that is just not being submitted. You might have had it done, but by not submitting it, I don't know that. So please take the time to go and hit submit when you're done with all your work. All right, you guys, take care. Have a good rest of your Monday, and we'll catch you on the other flip side. Bye-bye.